This is the last bit, and it's from Great Expectations. I'm sure you know that. Well, those of you who've got any education at all would have would have read it, and I hope those of you who haven't read it will after this. Dickens was, I would say, unhappily married, and at first everything was wonderful, and gradually he grew away out of love from his wife, and he fell in love with a young woman, a young actress, and tried to put his wife in a mental home so that he could do what he wanted without her stopping him. So he was, in some ways, you could say, a typical man. No, I won't. I won't say that. He was a complicated man. And this book, Great Expectations, was written after this event had happened. And in it, there are three characters that I'm doing for you now. One is Pip, who tells the story, the hero of the story. The other is Estella, who is the unattainable sexual object that he longed for. And the third one, Miss Havisham. And some of you may know, if you've seen the great David Lean film, Miss Havisham was played by a wonderful actress, Martita Hunt, and she taught Sir Laurence Olivier to act. So Miss Havisham had been jilted as a young woman, and that had a terrible effect on the rest of her life. She never left the house. The wedding cake stayed on the table, just in a mass of earwigs and maggots and flies. She remained in her bridal dress, and she trained and groomed a young woman to take revenge on the male sex. Great Expectations. In an armchair, with an elbow resting on the table and her head leaning on that hand, sat the strangest lady I have ever seen. She was dressed in rich materials, satins and lace and silks, all of white. Her shoes were white, and she had a long white veil and bridal flowers in her hair. But her hair was white. She'd not quite finished dressing, for she had but one shoe on. The other was on the table, near her hand. I saw that everything within my view, which ought to be white, had been white long ago, and had lost its luster and was faded and yellow. I saw that the dress, which had been put upon the rounded figure of a young woman, had shrunk to skin and bone. "Who is it?" Pip, Ma'am. Pip? Mr. Pumblechook's boy, Ma'am. Come to play. Come nearer. Let me look at you. Come close. When I stood before her, avoiding her eyes, I took note of the surrounding objects in detail. I saw that her watch had stopped at 20 minutes to 9, and that a clock in the room had stopped at 20 minutes to 9. Look at me. You are not afraid to look at a woman who has not seen the sun since you were born? Do you know what I touch here? Yes, Ma'am. What do I touch? Your heart, Ma'am. Broken. I'm tired. I want diversion, and I have done with men and women. I sometimes have sick fancies, and I have a sick fancy I should like to see some play. There, play, play, play. Call Estella at the door. You can do that. to stand in the dark, in a mysterious passage of an unknown house, bawling, "Estella!" to a young lady neither visible nor responsive, and feeling it a dreadful liberty so as to roar out her name, was almost as bad as playing to order. Estella answered at last, and her light came along the dark passage like a star. Miss Havisham beckoned her to come close and took up a jewel from the table and tried its effect upon her fair young bosom and against her pretty brown hair. "Let me see you play at cards with this boy." "With this boy? Why, he's nothing but a common labouring boy." "Well, you can break his heart." "What do you play, boy?" "Nothing but beggar my neighbour, miss." "Beggar him," said Miss Havisham to Estella. So we sat down to cards. I played the game to an end with Estella, and she beggared me. Many years later, I tapped in my old way at the door of Miss Havisham's room. "Pip's rap," I heard her say immediately. "Come in, Pip." She was in her chair near the old table in the old dress. Sitting near her, with a white shoe that had never been worn in her hand, and her head bent as she looked at it, was an elegant lady whom I had never seen. The lady, whom I had never seen before, lifted up her eyes archly at me, and then I saw that the eyes were Estella's eyes. But she was so much changed. She was so much more beautiful, more womanly, that I fancied as I looked at her that I slipped hopelessly back into the coarse and common boy again. "Do you find her much changed, Pip? She was proud and insulting, and you wanted to go away from her. Don't you remember?" Estella laughed, and looked at the shoe in her hand, and laughed again, and looked at me, and put the shoe down. She treated me as a boy still, but she lured me on. Then, Estella being gone, and we two left alone, Miss Havisham turned to me and said in a whisper, "Is she beautiful, graceful, well grown? Do you admire her? Love her, love her, love her. If she favours you, love her. If she wounds you, love her. If she tears your heart to pieces, and as it grows older and stronger, it will tear deeper, love her, love her, love her. Hear me, Pip. I adopted her to be loved. I bred her and educated her to be loved. I developed her into what she is, that she might be loved. Love her. I'll tell you what real love is. It is blind devotion, unquestioning self-humiliation, utter submission, trust and belief against yourself and against the whole world, giving up your whole heart and soul to the smiter, as I
the astonishing, multi-talented, breathtaking Miriam Margolyes. Put your hands together. Thank you so much. You've been an amazing audience. Thank you.